Hey, what's up everybody? It's Marks here from Maple AI, and we are going to do another video today. We are going to talk about something that everybody has to deal with, and that is prioritizing your day, coming up with a task list, a do list, however you want to call it, and making sure that you're working on the most important items that you should be trying to tackle today. And really, it doesn't matter kind of where you are in your life. You could be a child all the way up to a grown adult. You could be a working professional, stay-at-home mom, a hybrid of the two, whatever you are. We all have things that we need to get done every single day. And there's just too much to do in a single day. Some days are lighter than others, but most days you're never going to get through all the things you need to do. And so you want to make sure that you're working on the most important things and getting the urgent things done, the important things done, and don't always be driven by just reacting to whatever's coming your way. Be a little more proactive with it. So we're going to use Maple AI, which is our personal AI assistant. I'm going to walk you through how to use personal AI assistant as someone like an executive assistant, where you can just tell it everything you want to get done, and then it's going to help you organize it. And it's very helpful. I've been doing this for 2 or 3 months now, and I have refined the way that I work with it. And I want to share what I've learned and how it's really helping me to make sure I'm hitting on those big items for the day. Okay, so I've gotten written out here. 1, we're going to brain dump everything that's on our mind for the day. It could be the week, however you want to do this. 2, we're going to prioritize all of our items by order of importance. And then 3, we're going to schedule the most important items that are on our list. And that's important because that's really key, because we can't get everything done in one day. So let's have the most important things float to the top. And then let's actually put them on a schedule for the day. Now, you might think I'm talking about like a calendar. If that's your thing where you actually want to block things out, you can. I'm going to show you a different way that gives you a flexible schedule, because life is crazy. We might be busy with all sorts of things. You might have kids running around, demanding your attention here and there, or you have work meetings that you have to work around. We're going to handle all of that with what I'm going to show you. So if you're ready, let's jump on in. Let's go over to Maple here. Having a personal AI like this that's encrypted means that we can give it all of the details. We can tell it everything because it can keep a secret. And that's what's important here. So I have what I want to call a starter prompt. And this is, I want you to listen to all of my ramblings about the upcoming day, the things that are on my mind that I would like to try and get done today. Please listen to my ramblings and create a concise to-do list. This is very basic. And what I'm going to do here, instead of typing it all out, we can bang it out with our 2 thumbs if we want to, or type it up on the keyboard. This is the Maple AI app that's on the iOS App Store. We also have the Mac app, or you can do it on the web, whatever fits your preference. However, what I love to do is use the microphone. I would rather just talk to it. And in fact, AI behaves better when we talk to it verbally, because we speak more like a human. When you're typing, you're processing and you're trying to say things just perfectly. Whereas when you talk, you can just ramble and it's going to speak back to you more conversationally. So I'm going to hit this microphone button, and I went ahead and I came up with a bunch of fake items that I need to get done today. So I'm a digital marketing specialist at Apex Marketing Company. And I've got a bunch of things that I have to get done. Way too much, 3 pages worth, way too much I'm going to do in one day. So this is going to help me manage it all. All right, so I'm just going to hit this microphone button here and start talking. All right, so I have a project to launch a social media campaign for my client called Novatech. And that's a pretty big item. It might take a big portion of my day. Then I need to meet with the design team to discuss an upcoming project called Green Earth. I also have a campaign that I need to analyze, a performance of a campaign for an existing client we have. That client is called Vitality Fitness, and they want me to review some of the metrics and identify areas for improvement. So I should set aside some time for that. I've been wanting to contact some influencers. One of them is named Emily Chen, and work on a potential partnership with Emily on something called Beauty Bliss. Next up, I want to brainstorm for a blog post called The Future of Digital Marketing. I don't know how much time I should set aside for that, but it's brainstorming, so just give me a good amount of time to work on that. I do have some personal items for home. One, I've got to pick up the kids from school, so make sure I get that. And I'm also in charge of dinner tonight, so I need to plan out family dinner. I should do that with enough time that I could go to the store and get food if I need to. And then also we're working on a family vacation we want to take out to the Smoky Mountains. So I'd like to have some time to do a little bit of planning for the family vacation. And then I have a couple team meetings on my calendar. I have a quarterly review that I need to attend. And then there's a networking with industry professionals luncheon that I should probably try and attend. Okay, that was a lot. Does your day feel like that? I know my days feel like that. Maybe I'll actually speed up that part of the video because we don't really need to listen to all of that. Okay, I'm just going to hit send here, and it's going to think on all this. So you see, it's just a big block of text. For a human being, that would be really like confusing and annoying to read. AI don't care. So here it goes. It separated them into work tasks and personal tasks. Okay, and it just made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 1, 2, 3. So that's pretty basic, and there's some meetings to attend. Okay, so you could stop here if you wanted to, right? You just dumped everything, and I feel like this is a good initial place, and you could turn off this video right now, and I think this would help you. But we can do better than this. So let's look at this and see. Is there anything in here that seems more important than others? Well, this is why AI is so great. You can just start talking to it now and change things up. So we can say things like, I think number 3 should actually be number 1 on my list. It's the most important. And now it's going to redo the list for me, and it's going to move it up, right? Okay, so now that's at the top of the list. But I still don't think this is prioritizing very well. So there is actually a prioritization technique that I like to use, and it was made popular by the US President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And so they actually call it the Eisenhower Matrix, where it uses importance and urgency and assigns a point scale to each one, and then it gives us priority order. So I already have a prompt that has that in it that I've made up and worked on over the last couple of months. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this in. All right, so let's go ahead and paste that in here. And I'm just gonna say, use the original rambling that I told you at the beginning. So now let's hit send, and it's going to take everything and put it in a priority order. So see what it's doing here. So what we do is we assign importance, and we give it a 1, 2, or a 3. And then we say urgency, and we give it a 1, 2, or a 3. And then it adds those together. So if you have something that is importance of 1 and urgency of 1, it gets a score of 2. And then the lower the number, the more urgent, the more important it is, basically. The higher priority, that's what the P stands for, priority. Okay, so now what it's done here is instead of having work items, personal items, and all these other things, I think it's actually important just to crunch them all in, because what if you have a really important home item you need to get done that is just so much more important than anything for work that day? Well, this lets you figure that out and schedule it how you want to. So here we go. Now we've got a 1 through 10 list prioritized. And I'm going to look through this really quick, and, you know, picking up the kids from school, actually planning family dinners, kind of important. So I'm going to move that one up. And then I also think that the influencer is something that has to be done today, no matter what. Like, some people believe in just having 3 things, that you should just only put 3 things on your list. These are the 3 that I need to get done today. That's good. So I'm going to move a couple things up. So I'm going to say contacting the influencer, which is item number 6. That is the most important thing I need to get done today. And then also number 9 should be higher importance and urgency, because family's got to eat. So now if we wanted to, we could go back and forth like this for a few minutes, reprioritizing this list. Let's see. So it moved contacting the influencer up to number 3. I still think it should be number 1, so I'm going to tell it that. Put number 3 in the number 1 spot. Now, if you don't want to go back and forth with AI like this, you could just copy and paste this list out at this point and modify it yourself if you really want to. But what I love about this is I feel like I'm talking to my executive assistant. I've never had one, but if I ever had one, this is what it would be like, right? You're going back and forth and saying, okay, here's all the stuff I've got. And then they're like, all right, I think this is what you should work on. You say, no, actually I want to work on that first. I think that's most important, right? So here we go. We've got this list now. Okay, so that's number 2, right? Number 1 was dump everything out of our brain so that we can just get it out there. And I think verbally is better than typing because typing slows you down and you miss things. 2, now we have a prioritized list, and we're using a framework that is tried and tested over the years to help us prioritize this. Now, number 3, let's schedule it. How do we put all these things on the schedule? We don't know what we're going to get to, and we don't know if interruptions are going to come our way that we need to attend to. Well, that's where this technique called Pomodoro comes in. I don't know if you've ever heard of Pomodoro. It's spelled like this, Pomodoro. So Pomodoro is a technique putting your tasks into buckets, right? 25-minute increments. So for 25 minutes, you're going to work on a task and you're going to focus on it. And you're going to pretend like nothing else exists in the world. Now, obviously, there are urgent things that come up, right? If you're working on something at home and you have a toddler running around, you still have to be aware of what they're doing and be able to respond to something important, right? But if you are wanting to check social media while you're working and you tend to be this person that has like social media open on the side and then your work thing open on this side, and like you work for 2 minutes and then you hit a rough spot and you're like, well, let me go check out the socials for a little bit. And then 2 hours later, you're like, oh yeah, what was I doing? Pomodoro is a way to say, you know what? I know that social media is happening, but for 25 minutes, I can pretend like it doesn't exist while I work on this most important task. And then 25 minutes later, I will come up for air for 5 minutes and I will check and make sure there's nothing super important that I need to look at. Or I can just take a break and chill for 5 minutes, right? Then you get back started on your next 25-minute Pomodoro. And you do this for 3 or 4, and then you take a longer break. Maybe that's a 30-minute break. Maybe that's a lunch break of like 30 or 60 minutes, however long you need, right? And then you get back into it. If you need to be more flexible than that, like maybe you do a 25-minute Pomodoro and then you have to go do something else for a while because that's what your schedule dictates, right? But it's this idea of focus. So that's what we're going to use here. We're going to throw Pomodoro into here, right? So I'm going to say, please help me schedule these tasks now that I've put them in priority order. I would like to use the Pomodoro technique to schedule my day. So my working day, I have from 9:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. So please estimate how long each of these will take. It's okay if you're not perfect on the estimations, but put these into Pomodoros. If you need to group some of these in buckets, if there are items on this list that might not take very long, that wouldn't fill up an entire 25-minute segment, go ahead and group some together so I can be the most effective that I can while still sticking to the most important items. Okay, let's see what it does. It's thinking and encrypting. Again, when it says that, it is encrypting end-to-end everything you say. So, me working at Maple, I can't see what you're doing in here. This is completely private and personal to you. If you're working on client data, if you're a therapist or a lawyer, you can talk in here and know that it is going to be encrypted, personal to you. All right, so here we go. It went ahead and it took all of the things that I want to work on and went ahead and put them on a rough schedule for the day. So this does have timestamps assigned to it, but you can ignore those if you want to. And you can just say, I'm going to tackle Pomodoro number 1 when I have time. And then if interruptions come your way after that's done, you don't have to get started on the next Pomodoro until you have time to focus on that. But it has grouped them together and made a nice schedule for me for the day. I'm going to take lunch from 12:10 to 1:10. I'm going to get right back in it, right? And it takes me all the way to 4:30. Now, let's see if I got everything done, if anything fell off the list. It says a block time for me. Okay, well, I could go into that in more detail, but you get the idea. So what we've created today is we've created a way for us to get all of the stressful things that have been on our mind that have been weighing us down. We feel like we can't even get started with our day because we're totally blocked, right? And we've dumped them in here. So I have refined this, like I said, and I've actually made a really effective prompt. And if you've used AI or if you're new to AI, this is really for you. So when you start using AI, having a really good prompt is one of the best ways to be effective with it. You can talk back and forth with AI and that's awesome. But when you're done having that conversation, you can actually tell it, hey, give me a prompt that can help me do this in the future again. So if you've had a long conversation about prioritizing your day and you finally got your list to where you like it, the format that you like, you can say, generate a prompt that I can paste tomorrow to help me get a similar list. And so that's what I've done. And as you can see, we have task number 1, which is ramble and just brain dump. Task number 2, have a back and forth conversation so we can adjust the priorities. And then task number 3 is to generate the Pomodoros and give me my daily schedule, right? So I'm going to just select all of this, right? I even tell it, you are my executive assistant. It likes to know what it is. So I'm going to copy that, and let's go ahead and start a new one, okay? This is going to be a summary here at the end of this video. So if you feel like you got everything you need out of this video, you can go ahead and stop watching right now. Go to trymaple.ai, sign up for a free account, and get started with your own personal private AI assistant. But if you want to see this all wrapped up in a summary, I'll probably cut this into a short, but if you want to see it, stick around and watch for this last minute, okay? So here we go. This is my prompt that I paste in every day so that I can prioritize my day, because we all know we have way too much to work on. This is going to start with task number 1, which is just brain dump everything that's on my mind. Task number 2, have a back and forth conversation about my priorities. And then task number 3, it's going to schedule my highest priority items using the Pomodoro technique so that I can work on everything throughout the day. Let's just hit that microphone button so we can talk to it, because talking to the AI is way better than typing. Okay, so I'm done telling it all the things I need to work on today. Let's hit go. Now it's going to take all of these items. Remember, I have all these items on paper. These are that I made up for this video, right? Way too much to get done in one day. So here it goes. Now remember, it is private and encrypted. I can tell this everything about what I need to do, and I don't need to worry about sensitivity because nobody at Maple is able to read this because it is encrypted. Okay, so now it has done the first task and it's on the second task. It wants me to confirm that everything is in the correct order. Let's move item number 4 up to number 1. Okay, it moved number 4 up to number 1, and it is ready for me to tell it to proceed. Go to task 3. All right, so now it's going on to task 3. It's going to schedule all my items for the day. Oh, it wants to know what my work hours are. See, this is like an executive assistant. It's really asking me all these questions. I am working between 9:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. today. Okay, so it has my schedule for me. Here we are. So these are all the times I'm going to work on stuff. These are my Pomodoros. It broke all my tasks up. And so now I have a prioritized list broken down in 25-minute increments that I can work on. If I have any interruptions that come into my day, I can simply bump things off the list for tomorrow, or I can move Pomodoros around, but I have chunks of time now where I can be most effective. So I hope this was useful to you today. You can now use your own personal AI assistant on Maple. Just go to trymaple.ai or open up the iOS App Store, search for Maple AI in the App Store, download it, and you can start using this to talk to your AI assistant and help it make you more effective in your day so that you can have more peace of mind that you're working on the most important things for you. All right, later.